The primary election is just 4 weeks from tomorrow, and if you haven't started researching candidates, you might want to begin now. But what you'll see and find on those candidate websites will vary widely, as Pat Poblete in our Washington bureau tells us.
Education, immigration, gun control, these issues have all been in the headlines recently and will likely be topics in the upcoming election. But not every candidate is talking about every issue in their campaign materials, and one expert told me that that may be just fine with some voters. If you want to know where Democratic candidate Deidre Abood stands on the issues, all you have to do is go to her website, where you'll find an extensive policy platform.
Transparency is how we know who our candidates are, what they stand for, and why they stand for them, so we can make an informed decision.
Kelly Ward, a Republican running for the same seat as Abood, lays out her positions in a series of videos on her website. But if you looked at Congresswoman Martha McSally's website, the Republican Senate hopeful doesn't provide an online policy platform. Political scientist Peter Loge says the lack of information is by design.
The thorough policy statements can be useful for those of us who like to dig in, who are really torn, especially in a primary, right, where the party affiliation doesn't play as big a role. But for a lot of us, for most of us, most of the time, it comes down to, you know what, this person feels right.
Democratic Congresswoman Kyrsten Sinema and GOP hopeful Joe Arpaio are slightly better, listing issues with broad policy objectives. But more telling than the answers are the issues themselves that the candidates choose to highlight.
We look at, is this person like me? Does this person reflect my values? Does this person talk in a way that makes sense to me? Do they sound like they're trying to snow me? Or do they sound like they're being honest? We make our personal judgments based on that.
Abood said she would have agreed with Loge before the 2016 election, but thinks that voters are now placing a larger emphasis on where candidates stand.
Will you still have some people who are just going to vote DNR? Yeah. But after being on the campaign trail for 16 months and meeting people all over Arizona, what I hear from people in all political parties, including independents who aren't a political party, they actually do want to know where people stand.
Despite those 16 months on the campaign trail, Abood is still seen as an underdog in her race against Sinema, and polls show that McSally is the Republican with the best chance against Sinema in the general election. In Washington, Pat Poblete, Cronkite News.